Welcome back to Tuna Blue, episode 45. I am your host, John Flounder Caruso, here with co-host Stevie D, who's not paying attention, and DJ editor, producer Lou, always in the background making the magic happen. We are recording from the Energy Defender studio called Energy Defenders for all your solar and roofing needs. Steve, how was the week? Where are you working? What's going on?
Dude, so I'm watching a reel someone put out. It was Mike Razat, who we had on, the author of the Jersey Devil books. And he posed this question. I think it's like a thing going around social media right now. Can 100 men beat up one gorilla?
I can't stand this. A silverback gorilla, nonetheless.
Yeah.
No. You can put 100 Robert Franks, 100 the strongman. Who's a strongman right now? You can put 100 of them against a silverback gorilla, and he'll eat them all day long.
I don't think so.
Not even break a sweat.
100?
Not even break a sweat.
So it depends. If they're in a cage,
yeah,
the men are winning.
No.
If the gorilla has nowhere to go,
No.
if they're out in the open, dude, how?
It's a silverback gorilla.
Yeah, you need a front line. Like, you're gonna have some sacrificial men.
No, they'll never be able to control a wild animal. That animal will destroy a human.
Right.
It could a silverback gorilla literally with a swipe of one arm could take out 5 of them. Just take 5 of them completely out.
No, I can't. 5 of them?
Do you know the strength of a silverback gorilla?
You can't. He's not going to just toss 5 men.
100% he will. These gorillas are hundreds of pounds and they swing from trees.
Yeah,
we don't.
Yeah. If you had a coordinated attack, like you had
no weapons,
you could get them pinned down
hand to hand with a gorilla.
You'd have to have at least 20 guys just willing to die for this to see what would happen.
What are people's opinion on this?
Mike Razat thought the gorilla would win. I
easily.
But I think, well, he's saying, so his thing was first 30 are dead. Next 30 they might do some damage to the gorilla, then it'll be up to the last 40. But I'm thinking, like, dude, if this gorilla like mowed down 60, 70 men, like the last 30 are done. There's no way.
No.
I don't think it would be like, if you're out in the open, like in a rainforest or wherever, in the Congo, the gorilla's going to win. Like, he'll be climbing up trees. He could get away from 100 men. But they would have strength in like a closed setting. And they have like intelligence. So if you got 30 guys, like, bro, like we need 100 people to beat this gorilla right now. It's a matter of national security.
Not happening.
Well, it could happen.
No. I will wholeheartedly disagree on that. I mean,
You're nuts,
listen, that's my opinion. But a silverback. Are you just listening about a silverback?
What about like stamina though? Like, okay, it can take out 70 dudes, but like it's going to be gassed for the last 30.
What about them? What about the human?
Well, the gas ones are dead. Like if we're sending lines of people to go fight,
I think you got to send one big blob.
Let's just say, what does a silverback gorilla weigh average? 400 or 500 pounds?
I think it's even more than that.
And that's pure muscle.
Yeah, but if you got 100 men, you're talking
430. Yeah.
You're talking a ton of weight, a ton of.
This thing instinct will take over and completely destroy.
He would destroy the first wave.
No, he would destroy them all.
If you came at him like a blob.
Who is going to control it? That's what I want to know. Who is going to try?
You just have to just grab on for dear life, and then everyone has to just grab on for dear life, and he won't have the strength.
It's going to bite people's faces off. It's going to live.
Yeah. Some people are just going to be some casualties.
There's going to be 100. Yeah. There's going to be 100 casualties.
No, I don't think so.
And I bet you 50 of them will be unrecognizable.
Do you think it matters who it is? Like, are we talking anybody?
Or
I'll give you 100
strongmen.
I'd take 100 Tyson Furies over
for sure. Like 100 psychopaths.
Yeah, I'll take 100. Give me. I'll put my house on the gorilla all day.
You'd lose your house.
No,
you'd be living in the Congo with the gorilla.
What is my theory? Nature always wins.
What about men or nature?
Huh?
We're nature.
No. That is nature. That's mother.
Nature?
That is nature at its best, right there, my
what
man. Have you ever seen just a deer get shot with an arrow? It'll if you don't hit it in a race, it'll run forever. Shoot me with an arrow. I drop there and cry bloody murder.
Yeah.
If your life was on the line, you're hauling ass.
Yeah, you're hauling ass, dude.
Get the fuck out of here.
I think
my life is on the line. My life is on. No, my life's on the line. I got a weapon. I'm emptying the clip, and I'll save the one bullet because you ain't taking it.
You got an arrow in your ass, and they're coming after you. You just gotta.
Well, if it's
adrenaline.
Well, if it's an arrow, I'm fighting the Indians.
Well, maybe you are.
Your adrenaline would totally take over, and you would run.
There's an instinct in animals that's like this. That's that instinct. Human has fight or flight, and that's it. And most people will cower.
Yeah, but I'm talking 100 people
People could talk all they want. It was like, I'll grab my gun, I'll do this, I'll do that. When shit hits the fan, it's a totally let the glass break in your house. I'll grab my gun. Okay, well, let the glass break in your house and tell me how you react. It's scary, and most people will cower.
I think
coward.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Yeah. Okay.
I still think a blob of 100 people though could defeat. Like if you just go after it, just like in unison, 100 people. Like there's no way it's just mowing through.
You're beating the dead gorilla on this one.
All right, let's move on. What do you got?
All right. So you were talking about strategic. So I've actually been listening to The Art of War, which is a fantastic book. So it's strategic and how that can. So you're saying if you're going up at a silverback gorilla, 100 people, you have to have a strategy. I don't think there is a strategy for a silverback gorilla unless you have weapons. But you can apply that. You can apply certain things to The Art of War to construction. Right? It's a lot of planning. It's like certain things like deception and stuff like that. Doesn't apply, but having proper planning, right? The 6 P's, piss poor planning prevents proper production. So all that kind of tied in with it, like how you treat your men, how you lead your men, how you lead by example, how do you reward your men when they do something good, which is something we realize out in the field. Good foremen will, say, hey, man, good job, good day, or, sometimes lunch, right? Break, they buy. And it's all, you can apply this book to real world stuff. Same thing when like running for politics, right? You can apply, you have to, if the other side is considered your enemy, you're taking advantage of their weak points, but you're studying first. So a general that studies and plans properly first and then gets to the battlefield first is always going to take the advantage and win. So I thought it was very interesting how that book, you can tie it into a lot of things if you think about it that way.
How far into it are you?
I'm almost finished.
Is it a big book?
Yeah, it's an Audible. It's like an hour and a half.
And it's all about just strategy and war.
Yeah, yeah. And I believe it's Jin Sung.
Sun Tzu.
It's him too, right? Sun Tzu. I had that Jin Sung. It's all the same shit. It's just depends how you pronounce it. Chin Lu, Sung Zi. Here we go. Yeah, but I think it is based a lot on that ethnic background when you read it. So it's like I want to say like Aztec warrior type day thing.
Is it motivating you to do anything different?
Yeah, it does. So you actually think, especially like running right now for town council, it makes me think more strategically. Why are people doing this? How can I combat that? Where are they not? So I can be, right?
Can you give an example?
Attending different things. You attend as many things as you can, which is something I've done my entire life. Now it's obviously I'm doing it because I need to be out there and be seen. So I'm going to go to things that I know that they're probably not going to, because that's important to me to be involved with people and not the politics of it. Actually get involved with the people and see what people are doing. And I think when you connect with people on a personal level like that, that's what makes it more interesting. And that's what makes them gravitate to you. When you start just throwing the politics out there, let's face it, nowadays people don't want to discuss, they don't want to talk about politics. They're even afraid to because they're afraid what the other person's going to say. But when you keep it on a personal level, so going out there and seeing, okay, they're not doing that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to capture this crowd and that group. And that's how you want to play it. Or show up where you're least expected. Show up to an event that listen, I'm an independent. I can go to any one of these events, right? Republican or whatever. I'm supportive. Show up where they're not going to expect you. It completely catches them off guard. So things like that is how you can apply that to the real world.
Have you started thinking about like some of the stuff you'd attack if you were elected?
Yeah, I'm heavy on veterans.
Yeah.
So there was actually a talk about, if you read the Hampton Gazette, there was talk about a project on the White Horse Pike for an Aldi, Chick-fil-A, Tire Center, the Starbucks.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. So if you pull out Broadway to the White Horse Pike and look directly across, From there up to the brand jewelers and back is all. Don't quote me on this term. Rehabilitation, commercial zoning, something like that. The developer came in, saw that this project. They said you can develop any way. Obviously, because I'm in connection with the people that are on council. I'm texting during the meeting. I'm texting them. I'm like, VA medical facility, because South Jersey is in such need for a VA medical facility. Everybody in South Jersey has to travel an hour either over the bridge to Philly, over the bridge to Delaware, and all we have in New Jersey is clinics. So when this came about, I'm like, holy shit! Can at least be entertained. And I was told that they was going to be entertained, and at least brought it to the board. Hey, is this something you guys can put on this property? You know, what kind of hoops do we have to jump through to do it? And then that got my ball rolling, where I called the American Legions, the VFW, the DAVs, the auxiliaries. Hey guys, this is what's coming up. I need signatures. So we're going to do a change.org where you can go on there and sign up from if you're a veteran or family member of a veteran in New Jersey and voice your opinion, write a letter. And that's how this is getting rolling. So veterans is my huge responsibility, because I thank you for your service, and I appreciate the recognition, but we need more. Veterans need resources, and we just don't have enough, and their lack of knowledge. With a VA medical center, not only are you going to get the medical stuff, mental health, there'll be an office for research to teach you how to do DAV claims. You know, right? I'm sure you probably have a claim going on, right? So you have all these resources. So, but if they're not out there, and South Jersey needs that bad. That's my main focal point. Obviously, infrastructure is another big thing. You bring in, with the Hamilton growing the way it is, and they want to make this a great popular town, you got to bring infrastructure in with it, right? So you want Aldi's, you want these bigger stores, you want these nicer stores like Haddonfield, Voorhees, Medford. That's how you're going to fix the roads. Instead of it coming out of our pocket, you bring in these businesses that are going to pull in the taxes and pay for the stuff, and then you can do more road work, upgrade the roads, spend money on other things without us getting touched.
And slap a PLA on all of it.
That's it. It's it.
Yeah. That sounds like something you could kind of continue to do whether or not you get elected, though. Also.
Sure.
Like, especially if you make enough headway.
With the veteran thing, no matter
awesome.
what, I will die on that hill trying to get a VA medical facility in South Jersey.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Do you know why? You know why? Like, you know, when you get a report card, it's A, B, C, D, F.
Mm-hmm. Where's the E?
So my son asked me this, and I'm like, dude, what?
You realize your son thinks exactly like you, right?
He does. I learn all this stuff. Just
by the way, does this
stuff.
place own air conditioning? I'm sweating like a whore in confession right now.
I don't think it's too bad.
My God.
No, I'm a little toasty over here, John.
Are you?
Are you? I might start stripping. Sorry.
Please, by all means.
Right?
You can take the headphones off and cool you down a little bit.
Like a fat kid in a buffet line.
So it used to be A, B, C, D, E, but E was being confused for excellent. I guess kids were going home like, no, that means excellent.
Didn't we get O's at one time?
That's like kindergarten.
Okay.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
But
I never saw an O.
I guess it used to be E, and E was being confused for excellent.
Uh-huh.
And so they had to change the E to an F.
I thought F was for fantastic. And A was for asshole.
Well, that's what my son was like, what's A mean? I'm like,
awesome.
A? I don't know. That's the top of the. How do you explain that to a 6-year-old?
I don't know.
I'm like, I don't know. You know how A comes first? It means you're like, you're first. That's
right.
First. If you ain't first, you're last.
You ain't first, you're last. Bring about me.
Yeah. Yeah. So I learned that today. It used to be E, and now it's F.
That's very interesting. So at work, I was out there for a few days this week. Weather's great right now. And then of course for the weekend, we're in that season where the weekends, it's going to rain every weekend now. I'm getting a great farmer's tan right now. Right. It's definitely sunblock season. By the way, you've been working outside. Why are you not tan?
I do a lot of
sitting in the truck.
This week, I was with subcontractors, which when we get the dumb thing of the week, I'm gonna get to it.
I mean, what better time to go into dumb things of the week?
What were you getting to?
I don't know.
You were talking.
Yeah, I was just talking.
Okay.
I was talking.
So we're working with a subcontractor. We're on a busy county road. It's 1 lane north, 1 lane south, and a suicide lane. Some parts of the road have a shoulder, some don't. This contractor is doing concrete work from, north and south. So they started on the north or in the southernmost part, worked their way north, and then they were trying to just go around in a U. But this usually you work with these concrete guys and they just fly. You know what I mean? They form up in the morning. They got a truck there by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. They pour it, they backfill it, they're done. Move on to the next spot the next day.
Right.
These guys took a whole day to rip. Then they were just ripping stuff out. Didn't even get it all formed up. They had these 18 by 300 foot just holes right off the side of the road.
Left them open overnight?
Well, no, I had to leave the shoulder closed with a crash truck, and I had to go get barrels. I had to do all this stuff to accommodate this because I wasn't expecting that.
I can't believe they let them leave it open like that.
Yeah,
especially on a state road.
What? It was a county road, but I had to ask the cops. I had to ask the inspector. I had to make sure it was okay.
Yeah.
Before, they had to just go get DGA and fill it in for the next day. So they, I'm watching their progress and how they're working, right? First of all, they got this poor guy, dude, right? And they're doing 300, 400 runs a curb. Now, tell me, if you were the foreman of a crew, you got curb, you have a lane and a half now because I got a shift in for them. So you got all the space in the world. You got 400 feet. How do you start? What are you doing? Take me through your process.
Traffic set up?
No, not traffic. Just pulling the curb out.
Pulling the curb out?
Yeah.
Yeah, you start at a joint.
Just pull it the fuck out.
Yeah, just start ripping out. Just start fucking ripping it out.
They had a kid on a jackhammer cutting 18 inches from the face of the curb. And he wasn't doing and these bits are 4 inches long. And he's going side by side by side by side by
in
side.
front of the curb? They want to just saw cut it.
Why not just rip it out? Who cares? We're gonna pave it in a week anyway.
Yeah, but I can understand why you rip out a little extra so you have room for the forms. But why not saw cut it? Why are you jackhammering?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
I can understand why they would want to make it clean. I get getting it. You could do it with a backhoe though. A backhoe, you could just rip it out.
Once you start ripping, you're
all
ripping.
All you need is 3 inches on the other side of that face of the curb, and you're good. And most of the time, when you rip out the curb, that's coming with it anyway. So you just rip it, and whatever you don't get, you get a pipe bar, and you just.
He was jackhammer with the paddle, I guess.
Jackhammer, and they're waiting. They got a whole crew sitting there waiting for this kid. Just.
They're not making much money on this job, are they?
Oh my god, dude! I'm like, what are they? And he the thing is, with a jackhammer, you can hit a point and then just go over a foot, and it'll break in between the 2 points.
Yeah.
Especially
in a joint, yeah.
This, we're not doing. It's not a.
And honestly, you just hit it you hit the bucket with it, and it just breaks. It'll break, and then you just scoop it out.
Yeah,
yeah.
This poor guy, dude, all day, all week, this kid was on a jackhammer.
They didn't like him or something.
No, but any cuts they needed, he was cutting it too. No water, no. I mean, just a cloud of dust. I'm like,
you should have seen the sweeper this week. These guys had a sweeper. Yeah. They turned the sweeper on the middle of a county road. I was in Bayville, and there was dust everywhere. And all you saw was the water sloshing around the tank. They never turned the water on. There was water in the tank sloshing around, and the cars are coming up. You couldn't see the cars coming. It was so bad.
I was, I guess last week we were with a crew that they were putting you ever see them huge, trench machines?
Yeah.
It's just a huge wheel.
Yeah.
It looks like a huge milling wheel, but it's 4 inches thick.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, there was no water. And this thing was it was insane. The smoke that came out of the top. I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
I had to drive away.
Right.
It was so much. Yeah.
So you're doing traffic for another company?
I'm doing traffic. We're to GC. So we're going to come in and pave eventually. But these guys are just doing the concrete. Now, this is typically a company that just does anytime I've worked with them, it's been in a neighborhood, never on a highway.
Right.
And it's usually just drop off 50 cones and see you later.
See you later, right.
Know? But now I'm these guys aren't talking to me at all. The foreman of the finishing foreman is one guy. Then you got the operator who just does his own thing totally. And they just listen to him. They don't communicate at all. And you got this guy who's kind of the supervisor. I call him the little drunk guy, but he's not. I think he's got 2 years.
I know why you acting like that. He's drunk.
Yeah. But I mean, bro, How long does it take to replace a frame on an inlet?
Seconds. Oh, a frame.
A frame.
Yeah, 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Yeah.
They ripped it out the day before. So now I got a big, huge open inlet hole that I got to deal with.
If you're parging and repairing, hour.
It was repairing.
Yeah.
They devoted 3 guys to this thing the next day. All day. Didn't even get the frame on.
Were they on a Bell Atlantic contract? Why is he constantly hitting the table?
It's okay. I wasn't going to yell at him.
I'm upset. Sorry.
Come on. No.
Yeah, but
I don't know. It's
just driving me nuts.
It does, because
and they're not talking to me. So like I'm looking, these guys are going, and they're like, I don't know, quarter mile down the road with just like a backhoe on English Creek Road.
The guys we did traffic for this week, they were excellent. I show up at 6 o'clock. We had to put stuff out. The foreman's there early at 6 o'clock. He's like, listen, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I said, okay, no problem.
Yeah.
We set it up. Okay, doing this.
You got to talk. You got to communicate.
Well, yes.
Yeah, I'll give you anything you want. You want to work from here to Summers Point? Fine.
Part of the art of war.
Just tell me what you want to do.
Yeah, you got to communicate.
Don't just do whatever you want and then expect me to react to it, and you just continue doing it while I'm trying to react.
Right.
Like it don't work like that. You know what I mean? You got to tell me what's going on. Give me an idea for the next day. Like this stuff, it requires traffic control devices. I have to do stuff. This is a very busy road. Yeah. I can't just willy-nilly, here's a couple cones. See you guys later, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, that was my dumb thing. I thought it was absolutely the dumbest thing I've seen this week.
I had actually my dumb thing in the week is me, and it's just my brain.
For the 4th consecutive week.
Like, my brain has been all over the place. So I'm having trouble right now. Obviously, we bring up this holistic stuff that and I think you got somebody coming on, or you did.
We had the psychologist in on,
Don't forget to watch that interview.
That'll be out 2 days before this one.
Yes, don't forget to watch that.
Yeah.
So
it's excellent, too.
I have been just like fidgety. I can't lock in on things. I can't just sit there and watch TV. I get up. I feel like I'm coming out of my skin. And forgetful. I forget. If you thought I forgot before, my wife wants to kill me. Like, in fact, she's going away for the weekend. I'm going to have the best time just doing nothing, just being a dogs. But I can't lock in, and I've been forgetting. The dumb thing is me. I have been like simple shit where I put my keys, which is not like me. The Marine in me is always organized. I know exactly where my shit's at. I'm out of control all over the place.
What changed?
I don't know. I actually had to go see a psych.
Do you think it's like the weight of the?
It could be a little bit.
Could
be a little bit of everything. It could be a little bit. Maybe the strain of weed I was probably smoking might have been not the best one for me. Maybe I should stick. Maybe I should stick to indica. Yeah. When I talked to the psych, I'm on Lamictal, which is a mood stabilizer. He upped that a little bit. He said it sounds like it's more mood stabilizing than it is ADHD. But yeah, that's the shit we deal with mental health.
I was talking to Dr. Amy Janke about like how we all have side jobs, right? Because like the nature of the business with construction is like you end up with like this like lack of purpose kind of, because it's just go. It's thankless. And I said, it kind of goes hand in hand with side jobs. Do you think that that's like to fulfill the sense of purpose? And she was saying that it's something to take control of your life, because you have no control. And especially a time like, so for you, you were laid off all winter, back and forth a little bit with a couple different contractors, couple let you down big time in a big way. You have the weight of this election coming up and like all these different changes, and you're kind of like out of control of all of it. Like, hey, we need you to go here. Hey, we need you to go there. Hey, you need to do this. Hey, we need you to do that. Hey, you're working. Hey, you're not working. Hey, this, hey, that.
In a world where I am very organized.
Right. In a world that you're very organized. So it makes sense that like that trickled into the rest of your life. And she was saying like these side jobs, like a podcast, for example, or, just whatever people do. Like Joe McNally is the cannabis consultant, or, doing someone's driveway on the weekends. It's just a way of taking control and being able to balance your life.
I've said 100 times how many times I've come here and after doing this podcast, I feel fantastic. It's a release. The term you just used of a thankless job, I was actually, I'm so glad you brought it up because I was actually thinking about that. I think that's a mindset. So like they say, being a politician, which I hate the P word because I'm the working man veteran that's running to help people. But when you're in that politician position, right? Is it a thankless job, or can you make it not a thankless job? If you're enjoying what you're doing, if you which is what I'm doing, I'm trying to do is make enjoyment out of this, then it's not thankless. Then, like when people said when the big saying when you own a boat, well, the two best days is when you buy it and when you get rid of it. Well, that's not true. Not if you're making memories on it and you're having a good time. I regretted selling my boat. To this day, I regret selling my boat and starting a food trailer. The memories I have of my father on that boat last a lifetime. But it wasn't the worst day for me. It was the worst day for me getting rid of it, not the best day. Mm-hmm. So I think that's like goes hand in hand when you're working and says, this is just a thankless job. Yeah, but is there anything I could do about it to make it more enjoyable so it's not thankless? Well,
you could take pride in what you do. When you take pride in what you do, it doesn't matter if you get thanks or not. Like you're just happy with what you're doing.
And a lot of people look for that affirmation.
But like around that December, January time,
big words I'm throwing out.
Yeah, around that December, January time, when you're staring right down the road, like right down the road at some layoffs coming. And like all year, you're kind of like, you're taking pride in what you do. So you're talking yourself up in your head, right? So you're like thanking yourself kind of. And then, thinking like, I don't know, like maybe the company isn't going to lay me off this year. Maybe they want to hold on to me this year. Maybe they'll just find something for me to do just because I did so good this year. And you just come to find out like, no, we want you to work on Christmas Eve. Mm-hmm. I know, I know we can't work on any roads, but let's just do some.
They'll ask you to flag.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And then in 2 weeks they lay you off for 2 months. And then it just like really lets you down because you're right. To your point, it doesn't feel thankless all year. It feels great all year. Yeah, it's a good job to have. And
that's a punch in the gut when you get that, it is a punch in the gut. Yeah. But I have to keep reminding myself that's the nature of the business. It's the nature of our business. We are one of thousands that go through the same thing all season long.
Well, that's what we talk about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
do you want to talk about the benefits at all? We got a message from I forget his name.
I will, but first I want to take a break to thank our sponsors. Helmets to Hardhats. Helmets to Hardhats is your gateway as a veteran to enter the union construction trades. Helmets to Hardhats will help you get right up front in line and get you the any union construction trade, especially in the Northeast. If you are interested in getting the union construction trades, contact Helmets to Hardhats now if you're a veteran.
Beer.
We like beer.
Drink beer.
There you go.
No, actually, don't drink beer.
Drink Busch Light.
Yeah. Drink yourself a Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's be frank. Franks-way.com. He's getting all kind of bars, all kind of liquor stores. Go check him out. You could order yourself some online. Franks-way.com. And if you're in the, if you're trying to buy a house, if you're trying to sell a house, it's a tricky time right now. The best in the business, Dave Birnbaum. Buy with Burn.
Buy with Burn. Yeah. Yes, let's bring up the benefits because I've been having some issues and I like to try to explain what's going on.
All right, so what's going on with your issue?
So I've been getting letters in the mail about questioning how'd you get hurt, what did this involve, or claims, hey, your bill's not paid. So I was told, I brought this up actually at the last meeting, and I was told, hey, I didn't want to bring it up in front of everyone because I didn't want to put anybody on the spot. Right. Yeah. So the next meeting, Bill had said he were actually going to talk about it directly. Apparently, Meritain is behind on these claims. So if you do receive the letter in the mail, if you're a 172 labor and you receive this letter in the mail that asks a question, please fill it out. Or the quicker way is to call the service number on the Meritain bill and talk to somebody, and you'll answer the questions they need to answer right over the phone, and they process it right down. It takes 24 hours, and then process it right through.
That's good to know.
Yes. Again, knowledge, right? Knowledge is everything. Yeah. So, please.
Because who looks at their mail, for God's sake?
Yeah, I guess, I do. So.
Right, they send it with a horse and buggy, the last horse and buggy in New Jersey. It comes, they want everything by mail.
I love it.
Written by hand.
I still love it. Listen, it's old school.
Cash only. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, cash is king. Cash is king.
It's unbelievable, dude, by mail. Yeah, we had an issue with Angelina, who's my youngest daughter. She's 8 months old. And so obviously you can't add her to the insurance before she's born.
Okay.
So you have to, within the first 30 days of her being born, you have to add her, and then they retroactivate the insurance to go from the second she was born.
Okay.
So Michelle had insurance at the time through her job. So her job covered her up until the point she was born. And then Maritine, our insurance, took over from that point forward. But because there was like that overlap, right? Her insurance, our baby doctor, what's a pediatrician? Yeah, our pediatrician was billing Michelle's
baby doctor.
our pediatrician was billing Michelle's work because that was on file from the whatever, blah, blah, blah. And now it's like just this rat's nest we got to work our way out of. This one paid for this. They owe money to this one. This one's not doing this. We got to write all these. Doesn't it feel like a high maintenance kind of thing? Like you go to a chiropractor.
No,
right?
you know what it feels like to me? Fucking annoying. Why?
It's high maintenance.
Why am I doing this? I'm not getting paid by Maritine.
No, well, the thing is, we went from Blue Cross Blue Shield, which was zero maintenance. You didn't have to do nothing. You just show up, give them the card, see you later, pay $25, you're done.
I thought that was a big mistake.
Well, I'm sure there was a reason for it. That might be why we're getting 200 pence of credit now. Who knows? But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Okay.
I ain't going there.
All right. But yeah, it's just like you go to a chiropractor. Like we're in heavy highway construction.
You get 12 visits.
You get 12, but they want to know every time you go.
Yeah.
Why does your back hurt? I don't fucking know.
Chronic back pain.
Because I do heavy highway construction.
No, don't even say it's work. Just say chronic back pain.
I say because I have to pick stuff up and put it down.
That's true. You can say that, but I don't. But God forbid you say, "Oh, well, I tweaked my back at work." Okay, workman's comp.
Well, I just put nature of the business.
Yeah. That's good.
But do
enough.
they really gotta fucking know that?
Yeah. You know what the problem is too with this is, so say you have something severe like cancer, okay, and you've been going to treatments or going to things, and that bill's not getting paid, and then all of a sudden you have to go get a screening or a CAT scan, and they deny you because your insurance is behind.
Yeah.
That's serious shit.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I'll say this: Bobby Olive, who was, rest in peace.
Yeah.
My cousin passed away years ago from cancer. He went through chemotherapy, like rounds of chemotherapy. I think they even did some stem cell stuff with him. Like they did a lot. Like he got the works. He got the best oncologists. And he had nothing but good things to say about it. Like they figured it out. Like, look, if you're home, you're sick, and you got mail coming in, like I'm sure there's a lot of stuff you got to do when you're going through that whole thing. So when you get a letter from, your benefits, you open it up and you actually read it. Now we get it. It's just like, oh, it's just a statement or something. You throw it away. You don't even know what it is. But yeah, according to him, and he obviously took all the proper steps. He said it was great. I mean, he had almost no out of pocket.
That's awesome.
I think he spent like $500 total with all the treatments he got, and he was
HMO
going through
Blue Cross
it.
Blue Shield is
he was with Maritine.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was.
Because Maritine's, I believe, an Aetna group, and at the time, like Aetna always had a bad rep. I'm not completely complaining about Maritine. They have been good for me.
We don't put a lot out of pocket.
But it's
just
been a pain in the ass
Yeah.
with these claims, and I don't feel like I should have to work for it. By the way, oncologist, right? Why not just call it a cancerologist? What's up with the names?
A cancerologist?
Why not? Ain't that simple? Like you just said, a pediatrician. Why is it not just a baby doctor?
Yeah.
Just go to see the baby doctor.
Yeah, what's up with all these fucking weird hard names to stay?
Seriously.
It's probably Latin.
Why we gotta use fucking Latin words?
You're fucking Latin.
Why can't we use American words?
Because science uses Latin.
It's like a toofy.
Ooh, I'm a science teacher. Shut up, Lou.
All right, so I got something. Little Egg Harbor School District is considering raising the school tax 33%.
Oh my God.
33%.
Why?
Because they figured out their budget. They need X amount of money. They're only going to bring in whatever. They need 10 million. They're bringing in 7 million.
What is this?
Little Egg Harbor.
Little Egg.
They got to make up the $3 million. They're going to increase the tax. They have to increase the tax by 33% in order to do it. Now, New Jersey is expected to give them $7.7 million.
Okay.
Which is taken into consideration before they're doing these things. But there's a Murphy put this thing into place called a tax levy incentive aid program, right? And basically, he's incentivizing the school districts to increase taxes by, let me find the exact term of this, larger than usual increases. And New Jersey, in turn, will give them an additional 5% in funding for doing so. So New Jersey is incentivizing school districts to increase school taxes in order for the school districts to receive an additional 5% from New Jersey.
So make the little man pay. So again, we pay the poor man pays the band while the rich man's dancing.
Yeah. So Little Egg Harbor charged 33% more. charge 33% more, and we'll give you an extra 5%.
Here's a problem with Little Egg. Little Egg, again, this is a problem when you have these towns and there's no infrastructure around it to bring in that income to supplement the.
You know what they could do?
What's that?
Allow the cannabis industry to just come in,
start
growing, start manufacturing, and start selling that shit.
They could help their town immediately.
2%.
Yeah, they could help their town immediately.
Every fucking dollar that's made.
There's such a whatchamacallit though. There's what's the word I'm looking for, Lou? There's such a
stigma.
Yeah, a stigma with these dispensaries, and you're going to get at every town you're going to have the old timers that are stuck in their ways that are just going to be against it. All, and you know what I mean? Just always against it. If you ever went by a dispensary, no one's hanging around outside. I think actually it's law. You can't, you can't just sit there. In fact, you have to leave. You can't smoke it on the property. You can't, take any consumption of it on the property. So I think there's a stigma around this. Now, the growing part, I understand that some people don't like because of the smell. If you ever go on the winds at certain times of the day and that wind shifts, you get a big whiff of it. I don't mind it. A lot of people do. So I don't know what the happy medium is.
What if you live next to a chicken farm?
Well, it smells like shit.
It smells like shit.
Yeah, Maryland. You go down Maryland, that mushroom farms. Because it comes from shit.
Horrible. Yeah. They don't. I mean, what do you do about that? You're getting 2%. These businesses are making $800,000 a month. You put 5 of them in your town? You kidding me?
Yeah.
What's that? $4 million? You're getting 2% at $4 million?
I agree.
Yeah, that's insane. How much money is that? 800,000 a year? No, less than 80,000. 80,000 a month. 80,000 a month times 10. What's that? You get like $1 million a year.
100,000, almost $1 million.
Yeah.
All right. Math.
Right? Don't look at me, dude. I don't have a calculator.
I don't know. You got all the
my math's not math.
I got other things happening.
Yeah,
sure. It sounded good. 80K. Yeah.
But yeah, that's a really quick, easy way. And in addition to that, New Jersey is going to incentivize these municipalities to be doing it by withholding tax money. Anyway, they're going to be withholding grant money to all these municipalities that aren't taking advantage of the opportunity to make 2% of the revenue. This is just a last
ditch effort for that asshole to be an asshole.
Yeah.
Like it really is. I cannot wait. I don't care who the fuck it's. I cannot wait till he's gone.
Well, they're gonna go. They're gonna probably.
I would think they're going to lean towards. I would think they're going to.
Why wouldn't you? All right, if you are a town, if you are Little Egg Harbor Township,
yeah,
you're saying New Jersey, we need another $3 million.
No,
right?
I'll be fucking go stick it up your ass.
Why would they're going to say? Well, do you have cannabis in your town? No, we don't do that. Oh, well, you could make $1 million a year doing that.
Right. You can help yourself.
Why would we give you $3 million if you're turning down $1 million? It makes sense.
It does. You're right. It would make sense, but there's no. I don't know what the logic is.
But if you want more money, just charge your guys 33% more.
Right. So just let the taxpayers get 33% more.
I know.
So what else you got?
I got carded at 5:30 in the morning, trying to buy snus.
Really?
Yeah.
At Wawa.
I knew she was gonna do it too. Like she was like, yeah, that's my bitch. I'm gonna piss this dude off this morning. Right?
Sorry, I have to do it though. I have to do it.
I didn't say a word.
Right.
I took out my ID and gave it to her. She shows me her screen that says, "Is the person 21 or older?"
I don't care. Here's my ID.
I'm like, okay. She goes, well, don't complain to me. I said, I'm literally not complaining at all.
Right.
I haven't said a word.
Right.
Like she was just like wanted to fight with me so bad. She had a mask on. I'm like, you fucking.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
I don't think it wasn't Mars.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I've never seen her before.
Very rough around the edges.
I've never seen her before.
No, I mean by the way she speaks, very rough around the edges.
I don't know. I was tired. I didn't feel like getting my fucking wallet out and doing a whole song
Do
and dance.
better, Wawa. Whatever happened to Wawa being a fucking convenience store?
Bro, if you're buying tobacco 5:30 in the morning, just fucking
Just
sell it.
go. Like, yeah, you
Who
don't
cares
look,
if I'm
you don't look like
16?
well, you don't look you're like you're
I'm
16.
obviously going to work. I got work boots on. I'm not going to school. What am I going to dress up in a fucking construction outfit? Put gray in my hair so I could buy fucking snuts?
Yes.
The fuck?
5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
What are you doing up?
Yeah.
Don't you got school today?
Ah, that's how you get the that's how you get tobacco Wawa.
Yeah, it's great. I'll never understand customer service anymore. No. So I had a phone meeting today with the psych, right? 1 p.m. is the appointment. I have it virtual. I know I put virtual and asked for virtual because I thought I would be working so I could do it on my phone. Waiting. 1 o'clock, 1:05. I call the office. Hey, I've been waiting. Nobody's answering. Oh, well, it's 1:06. It's probably too late now. I said, no, it's not. I said, you all made the mistake. I did my part. I was on time. I tried logging in. You didn't send me anything. Yeah, I don't know how. I said, I don't care what you have to do. Call the doctor and at least ask. Ask him if he can just see me for 15 minutes so we can get this done. I need this shit. Please hold. I'm like, please. I fucking was going to go there and just go nuts.
This was the psych doctor?
Yeah, I was. It was behavioral health.
Yeah.
Right. So I was really my behavior.
You know you're on the phone with, right?
No, this wasn't this. This was like the secretary, the person making the appointment.
Her though, like she knows who she's on the phone with. She's just
right.
giving you a song and dance.
You're
like,
on the phone with a fucking nutcase.
Yeah.
So why are you pushing the buttons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you find a psychiatrist, by the way?
You go through behavioral health, and that's how it starts. So
can you find it in our like network?
Oh, I'm sure there's psychs in our network. There's definitely therapists.
Yeah. There's been times when
so there's psychiatrists and therapists.
There's been times when I'm like, man, I need like a psychologist, like to talk to, like just stuff like not having enough patience with my kids.
That would be a therapist.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Someone to just talk to bounce it off.
Yes.
Of. That's like mutual.
Therapy is by far one of my favorite things.
Yeah,
I really
but
do.
It's really hard to find a number or a name or anything. They all want you to do like, I want to just find an office, go talk to someone for an hour, be healed, and go home.
Yeah, it's just good to get off your chest from a neutral person.
Yeah.
And it stays there, it does.
So I had to start a podcast. All right.
So that's going to wrap it up for episode 45. I am John Flounder Caruso, Stevie D, Big Lou. Don't forget, Energy Defenders calling for all your solar and roof your needs. Hey, Dad, how we do?
I think there's something wrong with you.